everyone, this is Alena Marie. I am coming to you with the second installment in the Mac and Cheese series. This one is going to be characters. We're going to talk about how I kind of come up with the details about characters. Now, I know that there are all these writing tools out there that explain how to decide your characters in terms of figuring out what their wants and their needs and their desires and who they are, what do they like to do, their habits, then what they exactly look like, their names, their ages, all of that stuff. Yeah, I don't do that. I just make a vibe. I make a singular vibe of this entire character, and this is what my entire character is going to be. I do not come up with, I do come up with the names, and names are a little bit tricky and difficult, and it's a little hard to do that with this kind of project because I'm not making this into an actual book, but typically I would just go to baby names websites and look up names that fit the feeling that I'm going for. But in most cases, I typically write with a placeholder, and then I will actually make an aesthetic. So what I do is I want to come up with the vibe of what this character represents. So I typically go over to Pinterest because Pinterest just has a lot of pictures to choose from, and I come up with word I'm looking for. So in this case, friend, and then I add aesthetic, and then I look for aesthetic pictures of friends. I don't really want faces. I want a certain vibe or a certain feel. So then once I find that picture, I'm going to then go ahead and save that image. Then what I go do is I continue this on looking for all those different aesthetics, all those different words, all those different phrases. One of those really important things for me is that I always want to have at least one quote. Now, this quote doesn't have to be something they say, this doesn't have to be something that they embody 100%, but it is something that is going to remind me of what this character is. If I can't find pictures online, I go into this wonderful little archive that I have of a bunch of other photos, and I might be like, oh, hey, look, I like this picture, I'll use it. So these are the photos that I decided to consider. I have like a template, and I kind of just use that template for everything. So then what I do is I just copy and paste it and put it in. Now, right now I am dragging and dropping the photos. I actually will decide I'm only going to use 9, and these 9 photos are going to embody this specific character. So in the case of this, I will kind of talk about why I'm picking the books that I'm picking. I'm going for a vibe for the person as well as things that represent them that might come into play later on. The first thing to consider is that I want to have a sort of clothing option. I want to have a sort of complexion option. This isn't necessarily always what I go with, but it is something I want to keep in consideration. So this first picture, I want them to have like a sort of dark aesthetic. Obviously, I'm going with tea for this one. So someone that is living in a beautiful city, a really wonderful place, up in the top of the city, obviously, so they're rich. They have really beautiful ways of doing things. They have books, they have candles, they have a lot of old stuff. This quote, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you'll be successful, is important to me because I think that this character is going to embody that idea of wanting to be super successful. So then you'll see I have a lot of dark, a lot of books, a lot of keys, broken masks, and then basically what this does is this gives me an idea of what I am aiming for with this character. Someone that is more feminine, rich, has a broken idea of identity, which also plays into their magic, along with this very romantic, dark, sort of book smart kind of person, think first logic kind of person, emotions later. That's the kind of person that I was thinking for tea. So then what I do is I drag and drop this into my Scrivener page and I keep it. Then what I do is I come up with any other details, specific identities for what they look like, what they want, what they desire, anything that I need to know before going in. And then from there, I kind of will just go off. I will make it up as I go. I do not come up with any of the various specifics because I don't know this character yet. I don't know who they are. I don't know what their voice is yet. And then as I am writing it, then I will continue going on later. Then in this page, which has my character like big list, I have like relationships, important notes, and any character quotes that might come up later on that I think will be important. So if I say something, I'll put it there and then I'll come back to it later. I think it's kind of difficult to explain a lot of the things that I do for characters, especially with a project like this where I'm not actually writing it. So if you want more, definitely tell me and I will do it. Otherwise, this has been everything, and I will see you next time. Once again, this has been Alena Marie.